Grab a beer and pull up a chair. Welcome to the Northwoods Beer Guy Podcast. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Northwoods Beer Guy Podcast. This is Mike, the Northwoods Beer Guy. And once again, I'm pretty grateful this week we got Jim back.
Hey, buddy, how you doing?
Doing good, man. I'm glad to hear that you're feeling better. And it was a little bit of a shock to me when, you got a hold of me Saturday, I think it was, last week, and said, I'm not feeling very good. And I was like, okay, well, let me know. And then Sunday, you're like, yeah, I'm out. And I'm like, uh-oh.
I had to put the white flag up. And
Yeah.
So you had enough time to get a replacement.
I had enough time to recruit Brian back in. So.
And he did a fabulous job.
Yeah, like I said, considering he hadn't been on it for 105 episodes or whatever.
He wasn't like he got called the big leagues, but didn't have a lot of practice time to get ready. So
correct, yes. So
he did a very good job.
He filled in admirably.
Yes.
And I'm sure you had listened to it, and we were kind of surprised by a couple of them, and yeah, it was just kind of a mixed bag. But now this week, this is what we were working on for last week,
right?
Remember?
Yes,
and then when you got taken down by the flu or whatever, now we saved it and we're gonna do it today.
Yes,
so.
This is a interesting, and I think in two ways for me. One, because we went to Boulevard to the brewery, and you get a different taste. I think when you get it right out of the tap. So all these are bottles. Plus, I'm so amazed at how the different varieties of Boulevard. And when I kept on doing some research, sounds like, they've got a very good program that is very well honed in. And it looks, these flavors are just like they're not like just one-offs. They're like all very different. I don't know if some of these, we've had many of these before. So for me, I think it's going to be interesting just to taste these different flavors.
Oh, for sure. And like I said, when we were there, we do have like the one that we had there. But then we can kind of compare it to when it was on tap and in the bottle. But these other ones, I don't think we had any of these there.
No.
Well, I think I might have had the last one before you got there.
Oh, okay.
When we were waiting for you to meet us there. But still, yeah, it's pretty crazy. They've got a lot of different beers and a lot of different styles.
Right.
And that second one is really interesting me.
Yes.
I've never even heard of that one, so it'll be interesting.
Well, should we start it off? Because I do have some questions.
Okay. What?
But we can wait until you have your first drink.
Yeah, I'm going to need to wait. You've seen how well that helps me in the past, so.
But I think I turned them into easy questions for you. So
good.
So it's going to be.
I appreciate that
because I tried to tie it into Boulevard and Kansas City and the brewery stuff. So I don't know if you're going to have a chance of answering them right, but it's going to be fun to watch.
Whatever. We try to entertain.
There you go, and educate.
So the first one that we have is Joker's Wit. And it's a double wit beer. Now, all of these are in bottles, by the way. And this one is 7.4% ABV. So that's the lowest one. So these are all in ABV order like we normally do them. So did you find...
I found a little bit on it. This also has 21 IBU, so should be fairly harmless.
Yep.
A Belgian-style ale that doubles down on orange peel, Ron's favorite coriander, and peppercorn with a soft touch of lavender and cardamom. Cardamom, which I'm not.
That's another kind of a.
Is it a flower?
Spice.
Oh, spice.
Yeah.
Okay. The result is a beautiful, incredibly drinkable, and delightful spiced double wit.
Huh.
So there's a lot of different.
So this is going to be like a wheat beer
with
other stuff.
A lot of stuff.
And you said it said something about I'm just looking. Oh, orange peel. Yeah. What's the deal with orange peel? It's showing up a lot more. It seems like.
Yeah. This very light in color.
Yeah. It looks like a most of the wheat beers, I guess.
Smells like a wheat beer too, doesn't it?
Oh yeah. It smells like a wheat beer.
That yeast.
It's not bad.
Wow, all that flavor kind of mixes really good together.
Yeah, I was going to say that's really got. You can taste the coriander for sure. That's kind of sticks
very
out.
Prominent there.
The orange peel isn't as strong as I was thinking.
Right.
And so
I don't know if I had a liquid peppercorn before.
I haven't either.
I thought you put that on a salad.
Yeah, I was going to say, what's that going to taste like? But I really don't pick that up that much. I definitely get the coriander.
But I think the way that it mixes together, because I'm not a big Belgian style guy. All those other flavors kind of knock down that Belgian-ish taste for me. I don't know.
A little bit, yeah. I agree with you. I mean, you do get the hint of it.
Right. But it's not as overpowering.
Correct. Exactly what I was going to say.
So for me, that makes it really, they did it really good by adding those other things.
Yeah. Like I said, the thing I'm most glad of is that the orange peel isn't, because we've had some have been really strong, and it's like, ugh.
So I guess, again, I'm the novice. So what makes this a double wit beer?
I'm guessing maybe because there's a little more higher ABV, maybe. I don't know.
Because, I guess when I first read that, I was assuming that it was going to be double the Belgian style, Belgian over the top.
Yep.
So that's why I was a little hesitant of all these beers. This one, because it was the double, and I'm not a Belgian guy to begin with, so I'm like, oh, now it's going to be double.
Yeah, it's going to be twice as bad.
Right, twice as strong.
There you go.
But it's not really,
really
that over the top.
No. And I don't, it says it has lavender, a soft touch of lavender. I don't taste that at all. I don't.
They might have waved it by.
I can't, because I honestly, that's another one of those things that I don't think I could tell you. I've never had a beer that's just lavender.
Right.
You know what I mean?
We even had Heather once, so we don't know what she tastes like.
I think we had that twice, didn't we?
Did we?
I think so. We still don't know what.
Yeah.
Whatever it was, I don't think it was all that great.
Or the cardamom? What flavor is that? I still don't know. That's, again, you're putting it in there. Do you want to put it in there so people taste it, or you just want to put it in there because you say you added it?
Right. Yeah, that's hard to say. I don't mind it. Now, would this be one that, I'd want to drink several of them? Probably not.
Right.
But I can easily drink that bottle,
I mean, for me, for a Belgian style beer, this is definitely one of the better ones I think that I've had. Mm-hmm. What are you thinking on a score?
I agree with you. I know this is going to probably sound crazy to you, but I'm going to go like a 3.0. I do think this pretty good. I do like, and like I said, the coriander I get, but it's not like really, really over the top.
Taking a mouthful of flowers.
Yeah. So I don't mind it. Like I said, I could definitely drink a bottle or two of it, and it's good.
Let me ask you this question. We kind of alluded to it, but for prior Belgian style beers, how would you rate this one? Do you think, is it one of your better ones, or you've had something that's better than this?
Well, I think we've had some that are probably a little bit better. Okay. We've had a number of them that are worse, a little worse. It's hard to say unless we had a bunch of them together. It tastes like a Belgian, but it's not the over the top Belgian flavor.
Right.
So yeah, I think I like it. I think it's better than average for a Belgian.
And I guess, I'm going to have to say, for me, I think this is probably one of my better Belgian beers. And I could probably say on one hand, the number of double wit beers I've ever had.
Yep.
So I think this is one of the better ones for me. I'm going to say a 2.9.
Okay.
I'm up there close to you, but I'm just like, there's a lot of different flavors going on there. So you got to be ready when you take that first drink.
Right, yeah.
If you've never had coriander or any of that other stuff, it is a little, we've had a few of these beers, so we know what to expect. So it wasn't as bad.
Right. And if it's where a person is new and they've never had a Belgian, you could drink it. Right. But I think any Belgian is going to be kind of a,
be prepared.
Yes. If you've never had one, because it does have a different flavor.
Right.
All those Belgian beers do. And their flavors are very similar.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Overall. But this one's good. I think it's a good representation. And like I said, anybody could try it. I'm not saying that they would all love it, but you could definitely try it.
Right. So I figured since you've had a couple of weeks without having any questions, I better not throw you right into the fire right away.
Okay, good.
So I was going to be more, did you know?
Oh, okay.
So do you know the owner's name of Boulevard?
No.
John McDonald.
Okay.
So he founded Boulevard Brewing Company in Kansas City. We all know that, right?
Yep.
Do you know what year?
Boy, I'm going to say, just guessing, I don't know. I'm going to say 85.
Very close, 1989.
Oh, that was close.
And he started after he converted a historic railroad building into a small brewery.
Really?
Yeah.
No, I don't I don't know if that's where we were at.
No, it is not.
So they moved. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Because the way it sounded like he started small and then people really liked his stuff. So he was really moving fast. So he's just been doing several expansions.
Okay. Well, when we were there, I mean, it looked like they had at least 3 buildings in that area, that were all part of the brewery and that. And it was like, wow, it was a lot bigger than I thought it was going to be.
Yes.
Even though it shouldn't have surprised us because, they have quite a wide distribution range.
Right.
So that they produce a lot. But still, it was impressive.
Because it was more like, I think some of the bigger breweries around here, they're like built in a new, where there was nothing before, big shed type building. This, it looks like he's trying to use some of the existing structures that were there before.
Yep. Like they were revitalizing that part of the town or whatever. So, yeah, that's cool.
Good on him.
Yep.
All right, so what do we got next?
Well, we have another boulevard.
Another boulevard.
And this is the one that I'm really interested to see how it is. And this is their Saison Brett, dry hopped farmhouse ale with Brettanomyces. Well, that's
that's the type of yeast.
Sour.
Right.
But
that's where I think the Brett comes from.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. 8.5% ABV, 38 IBUs. Now, the thing on here that is crazy to me, the rest, and this is a bottle, but this is a 12.7 fluid ounce bottle.
Right. A little bit bigger.
12, a little bigger. And when you look at it, Jim, what is the one thing that stands out to you?
That's held on by wire.
Yeah, it's got that cage and a cork. It's corky. So
it says you got all the deets on the beginning there. The Saison Brett, based on our very popular Tank 7.
Okay. We've had that.
Have we had that one?
Yep.
Okay. Is assertively dry hopped.
Oh, listen.
Oh, champagne. Then bottle conditioned with various yeasts.
Okay.
Including what
Brettanomyces.
There you go. I can't say that one.
What are the Brett?
A wild strain, kind of like Mike.
Yeah.
That imparts a distinctive earthy quality. Though this farmhouse ale was given 3 months of bottle age prior to release, further cellaring will continue to enhance the Brett, in quotation marks, character, if that's what you're after.
Huh. And it's the label is pretty cool on this one.
It's different than
all the other.
It doesn't even have
it doesn't have like that neck band with Boulevard on it, but it's got almost like I don't know what color you want to say that, almost like a teal, like a metallic kind of teal color, on it, and it's white. The paper or whatever the label's white, more white instead of black. The rest of them are like black. It's interesting.
I mean, even look at the top, how wide the mouth is of the bottle compared to the.
That's interesting. So this is a different.
Have you had a Saison Brett?
Or not this one. I've never even heard of this one.
Okay,
so it'll be interesting. I think we have had. It's not very many of them.
Okay,
if we have,
I mean, it's yellowish in color like the first one.
Yeah, it's similar in color. There was more head in this one than the first one.
It's almost, if you look how weird it is, like the way the head is a little bit yellow closer to the beard and it's white.
Yeah.
So it's a two-tone.
Yeah, how do you do that?
That's another. See, we don't know how to do that either. Wow. Now you said the Brett, whatever that kind of strain of yeast is supposed to sour it a little bit.
I thought that's what it was, is something that would sour.
I mean, this doesn't taste sour to me. I mean, it's a different flavor.
Yeah.
I know we've had several farmhouse ales, but this is definitely very unique flavor right off the bat.
Yeah, it's a distinct kind of flavor.
Right.
I'm looking up on the Google.
On Mr. Google.
To see what it says about Brettanomyces.
You say that 3 times real quick.
Brettanomyces are non-conventional yeast that can be isolated from different sources such as fruit peels, kombucha, kefir, whatever that is.
Not Kiefer Sutherland.
Maybe. You never know.
He's wild.
Yeah, it could be. Let's see. Tea, olives, sodas, and wooden barrels, among others. In breweries and especially wineries, Brettanomyces are typically recognized as a spoilage yeast, being the cause of major economic losses. Huh.
I mean, this is
And it says the kingdom it's in is fungi.
fungi.
Whatever that means. So it's a fun guy.
Fungi. Kind of like me. I'm a fun guy.
Yeah, you're a fun guy. I mean, fungi.
I mean, this is not bad. I mean,
No. It does have...
like now after the second drink, the finish is a little bit different after the
To
second
me,
drink.
The initial taste is good, but then you got that the initial aftertaste has a little bit of a funkiness to it, doesn't it?
I don't know how do you describe that?
Yeah. A funkiness was the closest thing I could come up with. It's got a different flavor.
Yeah, I mean, it's very hard to describe because it's not a normal beer flavor
No.
that you get on the end.
I can safely say we probably have not had many like this.
But I mean, they did a very good job with the bottle, the marketing.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that...
And being 8.5%,
Right.
it doesn't really taste that strong. I mean, it does have kind of what you expect from a farmhouse ale. It does kind of have that reminiscent taste. But that initial aftertaste is a little bit...
A little raw.
Yeah. I was going to say off-putting, but it's, it's kind of...
I mean, it's something you have to get used to.
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
It's not like, ooh
We've been doing this for a while, and I think I'd have to have several more to kind of get used to that because it's a little bit different.
I get in the hard part. It's not like a horrendous different, like bad. It's just like, ooh, what? There's something. There's something there.
It gets your attention,
right?
You know what I mean? And then it's kind of gone, but there's just that little bit of a weirdness part in the aftertaste. So.
I think I'm going to go, just because I'm going to have to give it a 1/10 of a point, just the way the bottle and the marketing is in it. I'm going to go 2.7.
Okay.
Not bad, but I'm just not sold on that finish.
Yeah, I'm going to go a 2.5.
Oh, you're going to go right in the middle.
Yeah, I think, same thing. I very much like the marketing and the label and all that. I like the initial taste, but that aftertaste to me, is kind of like, whew. I'm not exactly sure how to take this, so
yeah,
I don't know. I'm not, again, this would be one of those, Jim, I think if it was a new person, I might not recommend it.
Yeah.
Just because of that aftertaste, that it's just that little bit of a...
And if you're not ready for it, you don't know what it's like.
You're going to think it's bad.
Right. But I mean, good on them for stepping outside their comfort zone and trying something different.
Oh, I agree, 100%. And like I said, we've had farmhouse sales, but I don't think we've had many at Brett.
And I don't know how many. I know it's not been many that have sounded like a bottle of champagne when you open it up. Right. So that's another good thing.
I don't know if Brett's related to Heather, but I don't know.
They might have something going on.
Yeah, that was different.
So I got another little. Did you know?
A little factoid?
Yeah. So when Mr. McDonald first opened Boulevard, he was hunting far and wide for equipment.
Okay.
Do you know where he found the equipment for his original brewery?
So like the kettles and tanks and all that?
Yep.
It's either going to be way far away or it'll be like right next door. I'm just going to say I'm going to say he got them from Germany.
All right. So I'll give you a half credit for that because he found the used equipment from a closed brewery in Bavaria, Germany.
Oh, how come I only got a half credit?
Because you didn't say the town.
Oh, I didn't know the town. Yeah. What was the town of Bavaria?
Bavaria.
Ah, dang it.
So
because I figured it's either going to be, we never saw the tanks or anything, so I didn't know if it was that style or if it's like, the style we're used to seeing, but.
Well, and this may not even be around yet since this was the original.
Correct. I forgot about that since 89. Yeah. So they could have updated since then. Probably have.
So that was, not only think about.
Wonder what that cost to ship.
Ship it all the way from Germany here.
Yeah.
Instead of buying something brand new. But I guess if something from Germany where is going to have a good lineage of good beer making, it's already established, maybe you don't want to mess anything up. Hey, this is already a good system.
I was going to say he must have had a plan.
Right.
And whatever he was making at the time that he needed that style.
Right.
So... Interesting.
Yeah, so I thought that was cool.
Did you know? No doubt. No, had no idea. And like I said, you would think the shipping from Germany to Kansas City would be
a little bit high. Just to make beer.
Yeah, well, hey, they're still doing it.
There you go.
They're doing it.
All right, what's on tap?
All right. So the next one that we have is Dark Truth Imperial Stout. And this is a 9.7% ABV and 60 IBUs, 6-0.
6-0.
So that should be interesting.
Yes.
That's pretty high for a stout.
That's up there.
Huh. So what'd you find out? Is there any...
Let's see. So throughout the ages... Oh, that one didn't pop like the champagne bottle.
No, this had a normal... This was back to normal bottles.
There we go. Throughout the ages, man has been fascinated by the quest for hidden knowledge, just like Mike.
Yes, I have a lot of hidden knowledge.
We're trying to get him educated. The search for the secret to transforming the elemental into the extraordinary, the simple into the sublime. Ladies and gentlemen, we present for your consideration this exotic, not erotic.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, wait a minute.
Inky, not kinky, concoction.
Huh.
The almost magical creation of our modern day alchemists.
Ooh.
Who have turned humble grains, barley, wheat, rye, and oats into black liquid gold.
Oh.
Layers of complex flavors slowly emerge from the glass. Espresso, roasted fig, creme brulee,
Ooh.
Belgian yeast provide a plum-like fruitiness. Noble German hops reveal spicy herbal notes, while the rich, velvety mouthfeel mellows to a dry, smoky finish.
That sounds like there's a lot going on.
There's a lot.
Wow.
Now
there's a eye looking at us on the label.
It's got an eye on you.
An eye on something, so this is going to be interesting.
And this is the Dark Truth.
Dark Truth.
So I don't know where they got the name or how that ties.
Yeah, they didn't say anything about that, but it's going to be interesting to see because roasted fig. I don't know if we had fig before, but I don't know if we've never had roasted fig. Creme brulee is very good.
Right.
But then, the smoky finish. I'm thinking, okay, is it because we've had some smoky, smoked beers that are really smoky, and then we've had some that aren't bad. So this will be interesting to see.
And an Imperial Stout.
So
we've had several of those.
Oh, yes.
But nothing with these same flavors.
No. And like I said, there's a lot going on there. So let's see what it is.
I mean, not much for aroma.
I don't
smell much.
Get a smoky smell.
It's, I don't know. Is that the espresso or the fig that's at first?
I think it's the espresso, maybe.
Is that?
I have a lot more knowing what an espresso tastes like than a
fig.
Roasted fig.
Oh, now I kind of feel the roasted burnt on
at the
finish.
end, the very
just on
end,
my tongue.
Sitting there, I kind of got that little bit of a smoky, very little, but it's just that little hint,
like a roasted.
Yeah, yes, it's more
roasted than a smokiness.
I don't get very much hop at all.
No, I don't.
You know what I mean? I was
60
worried.
IBUs.
I was worried with that 60 IBU statement there because I thought, man, it's going to be really hoppy. It's not.
It's not hoppy, but definitely different take on an Imperial Stout.
Yeah, for sure. I'm looking at the layers of complex flavors. Okay. I don't know if I get a creme brulee. Try it again here and see if there's like a sweetness.
Now on the second taste, I get a few different flavors, I think.
Yeah.
But still I think that espresso is kind of taking over my mouth now that it's drowning out all the other flavors.
And I do, when it said the mouthfeel mellows to a dry smoky, I do get that kind of a dryness at the end.
Right.
That's interesting.
Wow, there's a lot going on.
There's a lot going on. I don't know if per se, because it said the German hops are kind of a spicy flavor. I don't really get a spiciness to it.
And I would guarantee that if I didn't read this and you drank this, I don't think you could pick all those different flavors out.
No, I wouldn't have picked any of these out. Well, the espresso.
Right.
I think we just said coffee.
Coffee, right.
It had a coffee flavor to it.
But yeah, this has got way more than...
This has a lot of stuff going on.
But it all tastes good, though.
Oh, yeah. I mean, typically when I've seen a list this long of flavors, it's usually in like one of the Bourbon County or something like that where it's a bigger stout.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of stuff in there, and then the barrel flavors kind of impacts in it too. But this isn't barrel aged.
Well, no, you know what I wonder if they would have put this in a bourbon barrel for 24 or 48 months.
That would probably have been interesting. That'd have been interesting.
Kind of mellowed this out, smoothed it out a little bit.
Boulevard, if you're listening, let us know if you have Dark Truth in a barrel, because that would be, I think you're right, that would be interesting to try.
Because it might mellow out that espresso a little bit.
Mm-hmm. I agree with you.
Wow.
That's better than I was thinking. I mean, I figured it was going to be good. Boulevard knows what they're doing.
Yep.
We've had a number of their other, barrel aged stuff and all that. So I knew it wasn't going to be bad, but boy, there's a lot going on, but you get a lot of different stuff.
I think what's good too is, I mean, as an Imperial Stout, sometimes they are kind of heavy.
Yes.
Drinking, but this is not heavy in that fashion. It's you got a lot of the flavors are coming through.
Yes.
Which are good, which I think make us even better.
Now, I don't know, because it said, again, like the yeast provides a plum-like fruitiness. I don't know if I get... I think the espresso, like you said, kind of drowns out some of those more delicate flavors.
Right. Which, I mean, sometimes it's not bad. I mean, but like you said, the creme brulee, I don't really get a sweetness.
Mm-mm.
You know, I guess I'm assuming that's what they added that flavor for. That's
what I would think. You know, so I don't get that at all, but I think this is pretty good.
Yeah.
Is it one that you'd sit and pound a sixer of it? No. You know,
this is definitely a sipper that.
This is another one of those where somebody new. I'm not sure if I'd say, if I'd recommend it, just because there's a lot going on.
Right. Maybe on your second or third one, but not your first one.
Right. Yeah, of the night. Yeah, there you go. Because I just think there's a lot of different flavors going on, and a new person may not be able to differentiate. If you like coffee, I think you could drink it.
Right.
You know, but again, it's 9.7, so it's starting to get up there.
Right.
But
and just by the way, this is our last beer under 10%. All around.
So only the first three of them were under.
Yes.
Huh.
So I'll give it a score. I actually don't mind. I'm going to say a 3.0.
So I didn't tell you that I was giving up 10% and plus beers for a while.
Right after this episode.
Oh yeah, that's right. Wait, I was going to say no because I never said that.
Maybe after. Well, I'll talk you out of it after.
Okay,
this.
good. So what did you give it, Jim?
I'm going to give it a 3.0. I mean, I like it. I mean, is it the best Imperial Stout I've ever had? No. But I can probably honestly say, is it the first Imperial Stout I've had with this type of different flavors in it? And I think they did a really good job crafting it together. Would I have tweaked a couple things? Yes. And if they would tweak a couple of these or maybe put it in a bourbon barrel, I think I'd even give it a higher score.
I agree with you. I think for me, I'm going to go a 2.9.
Okay.
I think it's right there. It could have been a 3.1 for me as well, but I don't get that sweetness of the creme brulee. I don't really get a plum type, a fruitiness to it either, or that spicy, the spicy of the hops. I'm not picking it up, but again, it's definitely better than I was kind of worried that it may not be. You know, they might have been trying too hard.
Right.
Putting too much in there, but it's not bad.
No, it's a good one.
Yeah, I don't mind that at all.
So, for your next, did you know? I did not know this, but in 2014, Boulevard joined a new brewery. So they're under a subset of, what's the name of that larger brewery?
So they went in business with them, or...
Well,
they didn't get bought out or anything like that, right?
No, it looks like they must be, because this company, which I'm going to ask you that question too, owns several small breweries like that, including one of your favorite, Firestone Walker. So the question, so the question is, what was the name of that brewery, and then what was the name of the family, the group that bought it?
Wow, I have no idea, dude.
You don't know that one?
Nope, I don't know that one.
All right, so it's Brewery Ommegang. Ommegang.
Yep. We have a beer. Remember that we had an anniversary beer that was their Ommegang. Right. However you pronounce it, I apologize. It was one of their anniversary ones. And so they...
Yep, so they own them now. So it is part of the Duvel Morgat family.
We've had that Duval, or what? Remember, it had the little gnome guy on it. Remember, was it Between the Bluffs they were handing out? They had the little gnome hats that year. Yes.
So it said in 2014 that's when Boulevard joined that group.
Interesting.
So I didn't know if you knew that.
I did not know that. I guess the good thing, it seems like they're leaving them alone to do their thing.
I think that's what they do. So it's more the marketing and getting it out there.
Okay. So hey, that's cool. I got no problem with that.
So I thought that was another I didn't know that. I mean, because it definitely. I mean, when some of they get bought out, sometimes they make them change and try to make more money.
They try and cheapen up the recipes
and try to get it so the mainstream will just like their flavors. Yep. So I'm glad because these first three for me anyway have been very distinct.
Oh, for sure,
in their flavors.
I agree with you.
I mean, 100%. I don't think there's anything that's similar, but I think that they've really went out on a ledge on all these different flavors.
Yep.
Trying something new.
Yep.
Which is good because I know we always talk about flavor, there's flavors in these.
There are, and we're all about the flavors.
Right. And these have not been, I guess in my opinion, not over the top. I mean, could they have maybe tweaked a couple of the percentages to get maybe?
Yeah.
Maybe it would have tasted a little bit better, but I still think it's well on the right track.
Oh, yeah. And like you said, with this last one, if they put that in a barrel, that would be interesting. We'll have to do some research and see if maybe they got that going. That'd be
make a trip.
There you go. Yes, for sure. So I'm up for that.
There you go.
So awesome. Yeah.
All right. What is?
Well, the next one that we actually tried this one at the brewery.
Okay.
And this was part of their brew house series. Remember, they had the big bar, and then they had that small.
Oh, yep.
The smaller one. This was at the smaller one.
Okay.
And this is their, and we couldn't pronounce the name.
Yeah.
that day either. This is their Mexican Xocolatl. So I don't know if it's kind of like a
Z? Is it a
some kind of, it's an ale. It's their chocolate ale with vanilla and spices.
Yes.
And this one is 10% ABV.
10%er.
And now I remember when we had this one on tap, it was very good.
Right.
So it'll be interesting to see how it changed by being in a bottle.
Right.
Because I'm sure there's going to be a difference to it from what it was on tap. Did they have any, just to kind of refresh people?
Yeah, a little bit. So it said, at Boulevard Brewing, we take immense pride in our community, our craft, and our collaborations. When it came time to create the latest addition to our Brewhouse 1 series, we knew we wanted to work with a partner who embodies Kansas City's rich cultural diversity and brings something truly special to the table. Enter Cafe Oyama, a gem in our neighborhood of Kansas City's west side. Together, we crafted Mexican Xocolatl Ale.
I think that's close.
An Imperial Stout inspired by Cafe Oyama's beloved Bulita Lupe beverage.
Wow.
This beer celebrates the vibrant flavors of Mexico and the incredible stories behind them.
Nice.
So
let's see.
Wow. Well, because we've always had some pretty good luck with some Mexican beers.
Oh, yeah. Remember when we did that? We did an episode where it was like Mexican style beers, and boy, some of those are good.
So I'm just hoping there's some. They didn't say much about spices or anything.
Right.
So
you can have you
a little bit, but
you smell it. You definitely kind of get an aroma. There's some spice in there. I don't know if
we don't know what they are.
No, if it's like a cinnamon smell almost, or some sort of a
pepper.
It could be a pepper. I'm not really getting like a coffee smell.
No, but it's really dark. The beer
very
is
dark. It's you can't.
This
see
is the
through
darkest
it.
one.
This is dark.
Yes,
that still tastes good.
Wow, there's
doesn't it?
Yeah. Wow.
That the
tastes sweetness.
Good.
I mean,
there's
the
a
spice.
Sweetness, there is. It could be. I wish I knew if it's. I don't think it's pepper. It could be some pepper, but I do think there's almost like that cinnamony kind of a flavor.
There you go. That's
it.
what it is.
Wow. That's very good. And like I said, I remember when we had it on tap, we were impressed by it, and it still is impressive in the bottle.
Yeah, it's wow.
That's good.
I just wish. I mean, we could tell the listeners, what some of those different.
Yeah, I wish
spices are, but I don't really know.
I wish they went a little bit more into what was in it.
Right.
You know what I mean? But hey, that's
because it doesn't say it on here. I don't think it does it.
I don't. I'm going to look on Untapped as well.
Wait. Oh, here we go. Here's a little bit.
Okay.
Ale with vanilla, cacao, cinnamon.
Hey, I nailed the cinnamon.
And chili pepper spices.
Well, and you nailed the peppers.
So we had, I guess, all of them there, didn't we?
Yeah. Except we didn't say vanilla, but I definitely can, now that you say it, you can taste the vanilla.
Right. So
see, now this one,
wow,
you can taste all those flavors.
Yeah.
And
they complement each other.
Yeah. Where the Dark Truth, we were trying to look for some of those flavors and we didn't quite pick them up. But this one, you definitely can pick up all those flavors.
And I think the hard part is not one just like stands right out. It's like different parts of how you're drinking it.
Boy, that's good.
That's really good.
That's really good. And the good thing is I had to buy a 4-pack, so we got 3 more bottles of it.
That's really good.
Yeah.
And this is that first double digit, so it's 10%.
Yep, 10%.
I don't think it has very much for IBUs. I think if this would say anything, it'd be low.
Yeah, I don't think it's set
20s or
bottle.
30s.
I don't see anywhere on here where it says anything about the IBU, so it must be pretty low. But boy, that's...
But, like the
good.
Dark Truth was an Imperial Stout.
Yep.
This is an Imperial Stout. I mean, totally different.
Yeah, totally different flavors.
Yep. Yeah, very good.
I would safely say we could put these up against some of those other really high like the Mexican chocolate,
right.
things like that we've had before. This is very good.
Yeah, they did a very good job with all these flavors, putting them together.
Very much so.
Wow. So what are you thinking on a score?
Boy, this one, I'm going like, out of the bottle, I'm going like a 3.7.
Wow, you're right up there.
Oh, yeah, I like this. I think I could drink a few, even though it's 10%, I could drink a couple bottles of it.
Right.
But then you're going to be like, whoa, but just the flavor is so good. I think that I wouldn't get burned out by it or anything like that. I think this is one of those, honestly, Jim, I think a new person could drink it because it doesn't, again, maybe our taste buds are shot. To me, it doesn't taste 10%.
Oh, no, not
but it's got such a good flavor. I think that a lot of new people would be like, oh, that's good because it doesn't have, it's not barrel aged.
Right.
But it doesn't have like a boozy flavor to it at all, anything like that. I just think it's really a smooth, good flavor, I mean, the peppers are not like burn your mouth.
No, I mean, because I think I'm going to get right up there with your score too, but I think the way that they mixed, because a lot of times when they say pepper, boom, you're going to got a bite.
Yep.
It's not a bite. When they say the spices, it's like over the top. But the way, just like the previous three, the way that they've kind of blended everything really is a very good, almost perfect collaboration, the way they put it all together.
Yep. I agree with you.
Because, I mean, when you're talking about all these different items to mix in there, we've had some where they put that on there and you don't taste anything. At least now with these, you can taste the flavors.
Well, we always say if it's in or on the bottle, it should be in the bottle.
Yes.
Remember,
Yep.
And this is for sure.
Oh, yeah.
This is the embodiment of
flavors.
It's on the bottle and it's in the bottle.
Yep. And that's what I'm going to say the same thing. I'm going to say a 3.7 as well. I really like that one. I mean, it's kudos. Good job. Good job.
They did a good job on it. That's really good. I'm impressed.
Yes.
Like I said, we had it at the brewery and it was very good, but I just wondered, okay, is it going to be the same in the bottle? And it's very good.
It's very good. I'm glad you bought some and brought them back.
Yes.
Good job. So, another Did You Know?
Okay.
So, we were just talking about Duval Morgat, right?
Yep.
So, they're an independent family of authentic craft breweries. Do you know when they first started brewing?
Probably a long time ago.
Yes. Long. And the first number's a 1.
Okay,
that's
good.
a good hint.
Good.
The last number's a 1.
Is a 1, okay. Is the second number an 8?
Yes.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. I'm getting close.
You're getting close.
18. I'm going to say 21.
Close. 1871.
Oh,
you're only off by 50 years.
Dang it.
So I think that just means, the way I read that is, they've been around a long time.
Been a long time.
So they kind of know what they're doing.
Yep.
That's the way I would take it. I mean, if you're around that long, it's not like you just stumbled on, I'm going to try a beer and
see if
it's
okay.
If it hangs around. They've been doing stuff for a long time. So,
and we've had some of their beers.
Yes.
And they're good. They're good.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we can complain about any of them. I mean, especially, the one that always comes to mind is that Firestone Walker.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that was...
And we still have 2 bottles.
I know that.
They're 20... Was it 24 and 25 or 23 and 24? Whatever it is, we got 2 more anniversary ones we got to do yet, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, those really tasted good too.
Because that other one was good.
Yes,
we had that one. So
awesome.
Right.
What do we got coming up now?
Well, I hate to break it to you, but we have a barrel aged beer.
There we go. Right in our wheelhouse.
This one is
Did you see that?
There are 2 barrels. I did not notice that.
Yes.
Now, we've had this style before many times from other breweries and that. So this is a Baltic Porter.
Nice. Okay, good.
But it's aged in red wine and bourbon barrels.
Ooh.
I wonder how many times we've had that. That's a kind of an odd combination.
Right, because the red is going to make it dry, right?
Yeah.
And the bourbon's going to have a different flavor.
Yeah. Huh. This is 11.5% ABV. I don't know if it said IBUs. 22. So it's going to be lower.
Right.
This should be interesting.
Yes.
So it's Baltic Porter. Yep, 2024 barrel aged. All right. What?
And the only other thing that it said was that's with roasted malt, hints of dark chocolate, and red wine tannins.
Okay. So
I don't know what a tannin is. It's not like tannin somebody's knee hind.
No.
That's a different kind of tannin.
Yeah. What?
Not that kind of tannin.
Are you on some kind of medication?
I can neither confirm nor deny.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it does not.
So-
I was maybe kind of anticipating it might be a little bit reddish, but I don't think
No.
it's not red.
I mean, it's, your Baltic porters are a dark beer, and this is dark. I mean, the head on it, it's not white, and it's not really the dark tan that you see on a lot of them either. It's kind of the in-between a little bit.
Right, kind of whitish, brownish, tannish.
I mean, it's a tan, but it's not as tan as a lot of the barrel-aged stuff we've had.
Not a strong aroma. There's a little bit, but not. I can't really tell what that.
Yeah, nothing is jumping out on the aroma.
Right.
Boy, the initial aftertaste, I get the red wine.
Right. The very
Don't you? You get that.
I was waiting for it because, I mean, like the very first taste, there was not a lot of taste.
Right.
Until I swallowed. Then I got some of the red wine.
And then all of a sudden you're like, whoa, that has a... And it's not like over the top. I mean, it's not like you're drinking wine.
Right.
But it has that aftertaste.
I mean, I don't taste much bourbon.
No, I was going to say.
And there's no burn.
Nope. I honestly thought we were going to have more of a bourbon flavor.
That's what I thought too.
I think we get more of a red wine, almost aftertaste to it.
It's really weird again. I mean, to describe because plus I don't taste much chocolate.
That's a different Baltic Porter, boy. That's different. And it's not. I'm not saying it's a bad different, but it's different.
I mean, all these different things they're putting together, which is good. I mean, they're out there stepping outside their comfort zone, which you don't see. Again, a lot of craft breweries doing this multitude of different flavors into one beer.
Nope, I agree. That is wild. Huh. Who would have thought? I would have totally thought that the bourbon barrel would have really kind of overpowered the red wine flavor.
So I wonder, being the novice that I am, did the bourbon barrel and the red wine cancel each other out a little bit?
It could have.
Because I bet you it has a difference in the flavor and how they see. Did they do it in the red wine barrel first and then bourbon barrel? Or they do bourbon barrel first, then red wine, and then
that's a good point, Jim. Because they didn't say; they just said that they were aged in both.
Right.
They didn't say which order. I just took for granted on the label maybe the red wine was first, but you could be right.
I mean, does that have a difference in how the flavor then turns out?
Right. I bet it does, and it definitely, to me, the red wine overpowers the bourbon.
Right.
So it could have started in the bourbon, and then they moved it to the red wine.
That's what I'm wondering.
I think you might be right.
But I mean, it's still not like because I'm not a red wine guy. I don't drink much for red wine, but this is not scaring me away.
Right.
By having the beer aged in a red wine barrel.
No. This is one of the few, because we haven't had all that many that have been aged in wine barrels. We've had some. I mean, it's starting to add up a little bit, but not as much as like bourbon. But this one is definitely, like you said, it's not scaring me away.
Right.
And I'm not a wine guy either.
Right. I was just looking back at the notes here. Dark Truth, for me, was actually a little drier on the finish than this one.
Oh, yes. I agree with you. Yep.
And it doesn't say, the Dark Truth doesn't say that it was aged in a wine barrel or nothing like that. But whatever they had in there actually made my mouth a lot drier than this one that was actually aged in a red wine barrel.
Yep.
So, I mean, kudos to them again. I mean, that's...
Boy, I was when you were talking, I was focusing on the aftertaste, and it is wine.
Right.
So that had to be the second barrel. It's got to be.
Well, I would think so. But boy,
it's not bad.
No, I mean, and again, this is an 11.5% ABV, 22 IBU. I mean, the IBUs are non-relevant.
Yeah. And I wouldn't have guessed this is 11.5%.
No,
it's pretty mellow tasting that way. I think the biggest flavor is the wine on the aftertaste.
Right.
To me, I don't, like you said, I don't necessarily find much dark chocolate in it that I can taste. And well, even bourbon, I really don't taste the bourbon.
Right.
I taste a wine.
Yeah,
I taste wine.
I'm gonna go on a ledge. I'm going to put this as a 4.0.
Holy cow.
I like this one. I mean, it's not scaring me away. I'm not a wine guy, but I guess I just by the way that they put it all together and the flavors seem to me like really do it justice. And I like that flavor.
Wow. That's crazy.
I'm not saying it's up there.
You totally blindsided me on that one.
I'm not going to put it up there for a beer of the year nominee, but I like it.
Yep. For me, part of what you said, I agree with. It's not scaring me away. For myself, I'm going to go a 3.5. I think it's very good.
Yep.
I wish that you did get a little bit more of the bourbon.
Right.
But the wine in this one isn't harsh. It's not, like you said, it's not scaring me away. Would I recommend it to a new person? Well, if you like wine, maybe. Because I don't really get a lot of the Baltic Porter flavor.
Right.
I'm getting that wine.
Yes.
But it's good. And like I said, a 3.5 is still a good beer.
Right.
But it's Maybe it's a little different than what I was expecting, but it's not bad.
One thing that just happened now, I had a little bit, like my last drink, I actually got a little more bourbon flavor when I took a little bit bigger of a drink rather than just a sip. I got a little bit in my mouth.
Okay, that's weird.
Did the same thing happen?
Yeah. I
don't know why.
Yeah, I had a little bit.
Right, and just take, instead of tasting a
if you
sip.
take a little bit bigger gulp, and then you got that's weird.
And then you don't have the red wine flavor.
That's weird.
Can we give me another hit on that?
Sure.
I want to confirm
that is odd. Yeah, we got to try that again because
I don't think that's ever happened.
No, because that's weird. Because when we took a little sip, I think
that's how we were kind of just sipping through it to talk.
When you
through
sipped it, you got the wine.
But then when you give it a little bit bigger,
all right, let's try this again. So I think that's about what I had.
Yep. So we're gonna take a full.
All right, we're gonna drink the whole thing. Yeah,
more bourbon flavor, isn't it?
That is just weird.
Have we ever had a beer where you sip it, it tastes like red wine, and you take a big gulp and it tastes like bourbon?
that is totally confusing me right now. Because when we were sipping it, it was red wine all day long.
Right. So do you want to change your score now that it actually does have a little? It doesn't have it's not over the top bourbon.
It's confusing. I'm going to drop it. No, I'm not going to drop it. I'm going to stay where I'm at.
Okay.
Just because that is odd, though.
How do you explain it?
We've never had a beer do that.
Right. I mean,
that is weird.
Now I'm actually solid.
How did you do that?
Right. I'm solid with my 4.0 now.
That is odd. I never have experienced that.
So I'll put a little star by it, so maybe you can just maybe not in the beer of the year, but maybe to talk about it.
Yeah, we'll revisit that just to talk about it because that is the craziest thing I've ever noticed. And good thing you kind of. Right. And again, it's not a lot. I mean, we had,
but it was more than just a sip.
What'd you say?
Ounce? And was it even an ounce? A half ounce?
Like a half ounce in there, and then we drank that, and then you tasted the bourbon. Right. It's like, this is weird.
In a good way.
Yeah, that is weird.
I sure you're leaving it at 3.5?
I'm going to go with 3.6.
All right.
I'm going to bump it up a tenth because that's
good, man.
That is just strange. I have never had a beer do that.
That is good.
I'm so confused right now.
I know. Well, speaking of confusion, I got another question for you.
All right.
Not that you're confused.
Yeah, no.
All right, so the Brewers Association currently ranks the American arm of Boulevard's parent company, Duval Mugat, as what number in the top? They're in the top 10. So which number in the top 10 are
based on
volume?
Volume.
Sales volume, yes.
For craft beer, right?
Craft
You're
beer.
not including
only in America.
They're American. And they're not just craft breweries.
Yep.
Okay,
and not Boulevard, but the Mugat.
Out of 10, I'll say 6.
Close. Fourth. They're the fourth largest craft brewery in America.
Really? Huh.
So, I mean, that's based on 2023 sales volume.
And you're talking Boulevard.
Well, no, we're talking the Duval Mugat.
Oh, Duval. Okay.
So the whole family
The whole family is fourth. Okay.
Right. So
did they say who was ahead of them or no?
No, it did, and it just said...
Interesting. I could see it, though.
Yes.
I mean, I could definitely believe that.
I mean, because if they're anything like this, they're getting niche beers that have a lot of flavor.
Correct.
Because that Firestone Walker had a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Boulevard has a lot.
Man,
so they're in the
you bring that up, and we got to work those in.
I know.
We got to work those in.
Maybe next one we can tie them in at the end of one of our... Because those are going to have double digit, right?
Those are double digit, yeah. And
we could put that in with a Shiner Bock and add some flavor.
We could. We could.
Could have.
But I don't think we will.
No. You let that one go.
Yeah, we'll find something else.
All right. Well, what do we got now? How many we got left?
We got 2 left.
2 left.
So the next one that we have is oh darn, this is bourbon barrel aged again.
There we go.
This is their Chai Imperial Stout.
Wow.
This is 12% ABV and 15 IBU. So again, it's not going to be hoppy.
Right. It shouldn't be anything to worry about. Right. So it says, "Hello, cozy season."
Oh.
This bourbon barrel aged imperial stout with chai spices has notes of dark chocolate and roasted coffee with warming cinnamon and clove.
Ooh.
So this is a new
kind of
flowering
a new combination.
Yeah. Because none of the other beers we've had so far today have had clove.
No. So typically we've had clove in like the winter Christmas beers, things like that.
And I'm not a big chai tea guy, so I don't know what chai really tastes like.
One company that I didn't mind it, but again, I'm not a chai tea guy either, but Stevens Point Brewing, Their other, it's it's something Casper, John Casper, whatever it is. Okay. They have like the White Buffalo.
Oh, okay.
That stout, that white stout. They had a chai tea one. Oh, that's actually
not too bad.
Not too bad. But again, I'm not a big chai tea guy, but and that one you definitely got the flavor of a chai tea, but it was good. So
all right, well, there's flavor. There's
some aroma there. Yeah,
I'm not sure.
It's probably some of the chai.
Is that what that is? Huh. Ooh, is that a little bourbon?
Yeah, I taste the bourbon. I kind of taste the bourbon more than the chai tea.
I was gonna say, boy, that bourbon stands out more than the Baltic Porter.
Yeah, you didn't have to. This one you could sip and get bourbon out of it.
You didn't have to peel it back like you did the other one.
No.
Boy,
I'm wanting to see if we get a little bit, because you get a little bit of the chai tea, but not. The bourbon is definitely more of a stronger point there. Did they have? Yeah, you said that.
I don't know about the
dark chocolate. I didn't really get a chocolate roasted coffee
or cinnamon.
Cinnamon,
maybe on the finish.
On the finish. Yeah,
like right now it's lingering a little bit of cinnamon,
and the same with the clove. I think it's more on the end.
And I don't even know what a clove really tastes like. That's not alfalfa, is it?
It's not what?
Alfalfa?
No.
Okay, that's the different kind of clove.
I'll remind you of that in Christmas time when we're drinking clove beer. You go, what is that? Boy, see, this one, I don't get as much chai tea flavor as what I did in that point beer.
And again, like the Baltic Porter and this one, we don't know what kind of bourbon barrels they're aged in or for how long.
Right, yep.
Like our friends up north in Amherst, they tell you exactly what kind of bourbon barrel and for exactly how long.
Yep.
So you really know exactly what it was aged in. So I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but we just don't know. And this could be a great bourbon alcohol by itself too.
Right.
But we don't really know.
We don't know which barrels they use. So
but
I don't know. It's not bad.
I don't have a burn.
No
burn.
Not for. What was it? 12%? Yeah, no. Our taste buds must be shot, dude. Because I can't. No, I shouldn't say that. Because sometimes when we get some of those higher ABVs, you can tell there's booze. Right. But we've had times when, remember, we've had a couple of them where like 8% where it was super boozy flavor. But these,
or we get I think we've had a couple of the extreme opposite where they're putting a whole bunch of sugar in it to cover it.
Yeah, yeah.
And these are not just flavor.
Yeah, they don't Avery it. So.
This is, it is so hard to describe. These are really good. We haven't had a stinker yet. This is really.
I'll tell you what, this is, the more beers we try from Boulevard, the more I'm impressed. Because again, we have not had many of them at all that you're like, oh, that's not very good. In all the ones we've had, we maybe have had one, but I can't even remember it if we did.
Right. Well, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but we've focused on a lot of the darker one. But I think at the brewery, didn't they have some that were IPAs and sours?
Yeah, they've got
so they had that whole
different ones.
So it's not, don't be afraid. If you go to the brewery, you can get.
These are just a very small part of what they have to offer.
And I think it's more. We bought them because it was kind of more
falls on our wheelhouse.
Right. We did. We probably could have bought a 4 or 6 pack of the other stuff.
Yep.
So our opinion's more favored towards these.
Right.
And I think that you get a lot more flavor out of these. I guess I'm biased.
I agree 100% with you. I think you're right. And we do try and taste, because when we were there, I did have a couple other ones that weren't barrel aged, or, there were other styles. But when it came to doing the podcast, when we did it there, it was like, man, especially when we saw that they had that experimental bar.
A little bar off by itself.
And we did those, and we had that one that was super. What was it? Was it 15 or 19%, whatever it was? And it was good.
Super good.
And we wanted to buy some, but we couldn't. We could, but I didn't want to pay $50 for a crowler.
Yeah.
So,
but this,
and again, I honestly think for the two of us, our specialty really is barrel aged, or at least stouts, on the darker side.
Yep.
And I definitely think that we have a lot more experience and a lot more kind of that we can say about them.
Right. I think because there are those people out there that anything dark beer they don't like right away, or if it has that bourbon, they get turned off by it. But I think for us, I'm not going to say power through it, but I think just being able to decipher the different flavors, I think.
That's our specialty.
Right.
And
we're not afraid of it.
No. And it is funny because we know people that we've tried to have taste these, and we've had people that wouldn't even taste it.
Right.
Oh no, that's terrible. It's like, how do you know? You've never even tasted it.
Right. But I think they're probably afraid of the flavor.
Yeah, I think they look at it and go, that's not name your giant beer company. That's not that. It's got to be terrible. No, this is where your flavors are typically. You know?
And Boulevard is doing a really good job.
Yeah, Boulevard is a definitely one of the top 10.
Yes,
that we've had for barrel aging and all that as well. I mean, they do a good job.
So, what are you thinking on a score for you?
It's good.
Mm-hmm.
You do get more bourbon flavor, but I'm going to say a 3.4.
Okay.
I do like it. And I guess my opinion, I kind of wish it had a little bit more chai tea flavor.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? Just because I'm not really picking up a huge amount of it. You know what I mean? And I get the bourbon, which I do appreciate.
Yep.
I do wish we knew what kind of bourbon, just, because then it does make a difference.
Sure, yep.
But I would drink it, I wouldn't, because 12%, I wouldn't drink many of them, but it's good. But like I said, I kind of wish it had a little bit more tea flavor.
Right. And forgive me, Boulevard, I'm not a tea guy. So even if I was tasting it, I don't know if I could tell you what it tastes like because...
Well, that's the same with me. I don't drink tea, but I've had other chai tea beers, and they have a distinct flavor.
Right.
And this one needs just a little bit more.
Right. So I'm going to actually put my score right there. I'm going to say a 3.6.
Okay.
I put it right behind the Baltic Porter and the Mexican chocolate. But it's definitely not a bad beer. I really like the flavors. And like you said, the chai tea, I might be tasting it, but I don't know. Because I don't really...
Right. When you don't know for sure... what it's supposed to taste like.
Yes.
But like I said, I've had not a lot, maybe 3 other ones, maybe, let's just say. And like I said, that one from Point Brewing was very good.
Tasted really good.
Very good. But in that so when I tasted that, you got to kind of learn what a chai tea should taste like. And this one, it just, like I said, again, my opinion, just needed just a little bit more.
Right.
And then it would have been really good.
Yeah, and I think, like you mentioned before, I think anything in that upper mid 3s is still a good beer in our way that we rank the beers.
Yep, exactly.
It's not saying it's bad. It's just, these are just minor tweaks that I think we just provide our own opinion on.
Yep. I agree 100%, man.
So I do have one final question for you.
Well, that's good. We have one beer left.
Look at that. I kind of...
Timed it perfectly.
Right glide path.
Yes.
Did you know? I think you already knew.
Okay.
Boulevard is the largest craft beer brewery in the state of Missouri.
I wondered because it's pretty big.
Right. So it is. So I did find that out. I know that there was a lot of other small breweries that we could have went to over there.
Oh my gosh. We need to relook at that again because there were, I don't even know how many we didn't end up going to that
small
day.
They were small, probably about the same size of the
some
downstairs studio.
Yeah, some of them probably were. But I think it'll be interesting to hit a few more at some point.
Yeah, I definitely recommend if anybody's in the Kansas City area, definitely swing by there and try them.
Definitely. If you get a chance to go to Boulevard, do it. Because it was a really neat place. They had good food.
Yep.
I remember, well, of course, what we ordered was kind of more appetizer, finger.
So
they had a few other things, I think. But it was cool. I'm glad we went because, again, we've had a lot of different beers from Boulevard, and it lived up to its reputation when we went there.
Yes. All right. So what do we get? What is the final?
The last one we have is a limited release.
Nice. Okay.
And this is their Espresso Martini Stout.
Oh, all right.
And this bad boy clocks in at 12%.
Okay, just as high as a chai.
Did it say IBUs?
I did not see that.
Don't see...
And I looked on Untappd and didn't see it either.
Yeah, so we don't know on that. But it's a collaboration with Oddly Correct, and I believe that's a coffee.
I think so,
I think. So, and this is part of their Smokestack series.
Yes. And this is a 2025 limited release.
Nice.
So, it's got to be fresh.
Yes.
So, let's see here. This bold cocktail-inspired beer, the martini.
Espresso martinis, I've seen those before, yeah.
Is an imperial wheated stout.
Wheated?
With espresso capturing the indulgent vibes of a well-shaken espresso martini. Whether you're winding down after dinner or kicking off a lazy Saturday brunch, this beer is your perfect companion.
Wow.
Crafted in partnership with our friends at Oddly Correct, one of Kansas City's beloved coffee roasters.
Okay. Yep.
Espresso Martini Stout combines Boulevard's brewing ingenuity with oddly corrects coffee expertise. Let's dive into how this
Okay, so they're going to tell us how it came to life.
Right. So
that's fine.
All right. So
interesting. Oh, wait a minute. Cheers to late nights, early mornings, and everything in between.
Well, there you go.
There you go. Cheers.
This is our last one.
There you go. It's a dark one. So you know.
Well, I can smell something there.
I can smell some espresso or...
Is that coffee?
Oh, yeah.
It's really...
That's what I'm getting is... Yeah. I'm hoping this isn't like chewing on coffee grounds because you can smell the coffee in it.
This is strong. Ooh, there's some coffee.
There's coffee.
There's coffee there.
Boy, you can taste the coffee in that.
Wow.
But it's not, it's on the verge of being like you're chewing on wet coffee grounds. You know what I mean?
It is like right there.
It's right there, but it doesn't quite go over. But it's got the flavor to it.
Oh, it says milk stout with espresso. Wheated imperial milk stout, but it didn't say that in the online, but it says here on the label,
well, it's
wheated imperial milk stout. I don't taste much of the wheat style. I don't know.
Well, like I said, wheated. I don't know. We'd have to, Brian, if you can let us know when it says wheated, what does that mean?
In a milk stout.
In a milk stout, you know, it's got lactose in it, so it is a little smoother mouth feel.
Right.
I do give it that. But boy, that espresso jumps out. That jumps out at you.
There is some flavor there. If you like coffee,
there is flavor galore in that one.
If you like coffee, this is going to be right in your wheelhouse.
And again, I don't taste 12%.
No, and I don't know how they got to 12% because it's not barrel aged.
No, you're right. They must have jacked her up somehow.
Wow, this has got some flavor.
This has flavor. What's on the label is in the bottle.
Of all these so far, this has probably got the most like flavor of all of them.
Boy, yeah, that's kind of impressive that way.
This is almost like taking one of those little shot glasses of espresso.
Yeah. No, great. Now we're going to be up all night. Great.
Ooh, all right.
Wow,
well,
that's...
do you want to start off? What are you thinking?
I think it's pretty good. You know, I'm not a coffee guy.
Yep.
Unless it's in a stout. And this, it's on that verge of being too much, but it does not, to me, it does not cross that line.
I think the milk stout part
of it. The milk stout probably knocks it down.
Yep.
You know, that the milk stout smooths it out a little bit.
It's like putting milk in your coffee.
Yes. Man, I'm going to go 3.9. I think this is good. Now,
you're going to say this is the best of the day.
Yeah. Well, I can't. See, I can't do that. I can't do that. I can't do that.
Right.
Okay, I'm going to go. Oh, man. See, okay, change this one.
Okay.
Put that to a 8. And then we'll do a 3.7 for this one. Because I do like that one better than this one.
Mexican chocolate.
Yeah. Oh, no. Yeah.
Oh,
I was going to save that.
Okay.
But yes.
All right.
That's, yeah. Again, like I said, this is good for a coffee beer.
Right. That you don't like much coffee.
Right. This is pretty good.
Right.
And like I said, I think Boulevard, they nailed it. You know, I've not had, I've seen them. Like on cruise ships and stuff, I've never had an espresso martini because I'm not a martini guy.
Right.
Maybe next time I go on a cruise, I'll have to try one. But this is good. Yeah.
So I have had several martinis. So I would.
That's because you're more hoity-toity than I am.
Well, I did actually go to a martini bar, and that's what I made.
Oh, there you go.
So I would recommend if you've never had a martini, give it a whirl. Only because of the flavor variety. It's so wide. It's wider than any craft beer almost. The flavors you can get.
Okay.
So. If you haven't had one, just give one a whirl. The only caution is they're almost always all liquor.
Yeah. So actually, I apologize to cut you off. I have had a restaurant. We were in La Crosse and at a restaurant, and they have a martini list, and I had two there. And they're very chocolatey.
Oh.
But the same thing, it's all booze.
So you didn't have the one like James Bond, shaken, not stirred.
Yeah. I don't know how they did it. I didn't ask them that, but yeah.
Very good. So I think, so I am actually going to put this in at a 3.5.
Okay.
I'd like it, but for me, that espresso it's not putting me out. I think it's just really, really strong. And I would say you just have to, if you don't like coffee, this is not one you're going to like at all. You have to be ready for, this is the ultimate coffee and cigarettes beer.
Can I say right now that the more I'm drinking it, the more that is building up. You know what I mean? As far as that goes, so I'm just rethinking my whole thing here. But yeah, you're right. The more I drink it, the more strong that espresso flavor comes through. Continue. I'm going to figure out my final score.
Yeah. So I mean, I'd like it. I mean, And kudos to Boulevard for trying something different. Because I don't think I've ever had anything with this strong of coffee flavor. Right. And they did a good collaboration. But I think I'm going to go with 3.5 and keep it right in there. I don't think you can change much, but I think it's still pretty good.
Yep. I'm changing mine to a 3.5. Just because that espresso, and you're 100% right, Jim. The more I drank it, as it sat here and warmed up a little more, that espresso flavor really was kicking up. Yes. So it's like, whew, it's, again, the only time I drink coffee is in a stout, and the flavor of this, it's good, but it continues to build.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's like, boy, I just, you know what I mean? So,
I know.
Yeah. So I'm locking in at a 3.5.
There you go. So we finished our 7. I mean, this has been
survived.
A very, very good.
We survived.
Very good podcast. Very good session.
Good, yes. Considering, we had to trying to ease you back in after your illness. Do you want to start off
So kudos to Boulevard.
100%. They did not disappoint.
No, they're doing a great job. So any of my scores are not a knock on anything that they're brewing. They're doing a good job. Keep it up. I mean, I think the only things that we've said are our opinions of maybe how you could tweak it to make it even better. But I think my favorite was the Baltic Porter. I like that red wine. Because I've never had a beer where I could sip it and taste red wine and take a little bigger gulp and take bourbon. I've never had that, so it kind of intrigues me. Was it the best beer I've ever had? No, but I don't think I've ever had a beer where you get two different distinct flavors like that. So that's kind of why I put that one at the top of my list. And then I like that Mexican chocolate. Boy, it's not chocolate, but it's Xocolatl.
Whatever that is. Yeah.
Was very good too. I mean, the spices, the chilies, the chocolate, all mixed very, very good together.
Yep. Kudos
to that one. And then maybe my third one was that chai. Even though I don't know what chai tastes like, I think it still tasted good.
Yep.
So, I mean, this was a very hard category because they all tasted so good.
Right. Yeah, for myself, I think my number one was the Mexican one.
Okay, yep.
I really liked how the cinnamon and all those flavors and the chilies. I kind of wish it had a little bit more bite to it, but it was still very good. I agree that Baltic Porter was very intriguing, and I've never had a beer where you sip it and it tastes like one thing, and you take a little bit bigger taste and it tastes like something totally different.
Right.
Totally blew my mind. I mean, I've never tasted something like that before. And then the third one for me was that espresso martini, just above the chai.
Okay.
But like you said, the more I tasted it, then the coffee flavor got stronger and stronger. So if we wait for 5 minutes, it might change again. I don't know. But again, I do think that all of these beers were really good. And they were, honestly, the first two were totally outside of these. The rest of their kind of similar category, where the first two were definitely different, and they were still very good. So again, the Dark Truth, I wish if they put it in a barrel, I'd love to try it, see what that comes up. So Boulevard is definitely a very good brewery. If you've never tried a Boulevard beer, try them.
Or if you're in Kansas City,
City area, go.
Yes.
Tell them we sent you. Not that that'll get you anything, but
give it a whirl.
I mean, it was impressive, and these are good.
Yes, no doubt. I mean, I'm glad we had this. We did 7 beers rather than the normal 6, but I think it was worth it to add all that we had for extra ones. So now we've got a complete Boulevard podcast together. So that was really good.
Yep, exactly. So awesome, man. Well, I'm glad you're feeling better.
Yes.
Back in the saddle, so to speak.
Yep.
Next week we'll have something else. We got to figure that out yet, but.
I think one of the things we got, what's coming up in a couple weeks?
We have Between the Bluffs coming up in 2 weeks.
So hopefully people can go out and check that out too.
I'm hoping, knock on wood, that we're going to try and do
an on location.
Well, I'm going to try and do, because we have Taster's Eve.
Oh, right.
I'm going to try and have us rate some beers that night.
Oh, gotcha.
And again, it'll be on location, so the sound might not be quite as good, but we're going to try and do that. Maybe Saturday morning we'll try and do something from 608 because I believe they're introducing another beer. Try something there, and then at the fest itself, my goal is I want us to try and do something there to try and because we've had wrap up shows before, but I think it would be a little more appropriate, so to speak, if we could talk about as we're tasting them.
Oh, right.
You know what I mean? So I think we're going to try and do that as well, so we could get hopefully, knock on wood, we can do like 3 episodes in a couple weeks.
There you go.
For people to kind of experience the whole thing.
There you go.
So yeah, that's going to be cool. There's a lot of breweries coming, and they've got a lot of beers that we got to try.
There you go.
Hopefully they'll have some more 10%ers or better.
There you go. Hopefully. Well, and we will hopefully, with microphones, the only limitation being able to talk to the person behind it,
right,
to get a little bit of insight from them.
And the nice thing is we always, for the Between the Bluffs, we do the VIP ticket, so we get in 2 hours early.
Right.
So hopefully, that's what I was hoping, we could actually kind of talk to a few of the brewers, the representatives there,
right,
and just find out what they had, what they brought, what they would recommend, and then try them.
Yes.
So that's my goal. That's what I want to do.
Perfect.
So I think that'd be a good thing. And then, you never know. Because for some reason, we seem to bring extra beers with us and try them.
Right.
Because we got a pretty good group together. And yeah.
Well, that'll be fun. Hopefully the weather cooperates.
Yes. Hopefully it's not snowing or anything like that.
Because you never know this time of year what you're going to get.
You never know. Well, awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening to this Boulevard
broadcast.
Yes, there you go. Boulevard, if you're listening, we're looking for pro staff. We'd love to try, and let us know on that Dark Truth if you got that in a barrel somewhere, because we want to try it.
We would try it.
So awesome, Jim. Thank you for kind of getting over your illness and saying you'd partake again. I knew I couldn't keep you down. I wouldn't keep you down.
There you go.
So awesome.
Still trying.
There you go. So, hey, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening. And like we always say, we hope your campfire is always warm.
And your beers are always cold.
See ya.
Take it easy. Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Northwoods Beer Guy podcast. If you have a question, a comment, or a beer you'd like us to review, please feel free to send us a message at northwoodsbeerguy@gmail.com. You can also find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. If you're on Untappd, look up Northwoods Beer Guy and send a friend request. Until next week, I hope all your campfires are warm and all your beer is cold.